So, my story starts, let's see, where do I even begin?
My story that brought me to Options for Women 22 years ago was I was a 19-year-old right before my 20th birthday, and I was in a relationship. I was not married.
When I was pregnant with my son, who's now 2.5, his father decided to cheat and decided to leave, and that he didn't want to be in a relationship anymore. And from that, there was a lot of pain and a lot of stress.
I actually want to say that this begins probably shortly after I ended high school. That was a time of my life when I was really struggling with drinking and drugs and hanging out with a lot of the wrong people.
I decided to keep him, and I would come to Options for counseling, and they would pray with me and even pray for Deshaun. And it made a big difference in what I was going through, because there were times where I didn't even want to be around anybody. So it was a really hard time in my life.
Yes, I made a mistake. And yes, I made bad choices, but I thought, with God I can make it through.
Our mission is to empower each woman to come in here and know that to choose life, to choose a way that's physically, emotionally, and spiritually healthy, and to show her that she does have options and that abortion doesn't have to be an option, that if she wants to be a mom, we would walk beside her during that time, and that she would never feel alone in the journey.
There were a lot of times where I didn't have anybody. I wasn't really close to God, so I didn't know what to do, who to go to, and I would call Options for Women, and either Blaine or Ada would talk to me over the phone and pray with me and give me hope for the next day or whatever I was going through. And sometimes I really just needed that, because I also have depression, and so it's an everyday fight. And so sometimes I would just need somebody who cared to talk to and pray with me, and then I would feel better and be able to go on about the day.
And I was welcomed with open arms. Everybody was very, very friendly, very reassuring, and they offered me the pregnancy test, and it came out positive. And that's when I think my whole world just started spinning, and I didn't know what to do, or I didn't know what to think. It was really a hard news to take.
So when I came here, I've got to say that was definitely the most heartwarming part, was because I had people who loved God but weren't judging me for my sin and my wrongdoings and the things that I was doing.
And the counselor there, I remember her just praying for me, being there for me. Just at that moment, I just didn't know what to do, what to think. And she sat down with me, talked to me, prayed with me. I think that prayer just broke all the fears at that moment, and just gave me some kind of reassurance and confidence that I can do this. And then the fact that she gave me that little book that I still have, and I treasure that for many years. I always look at it and open it, and she wrote in it, and that meant a lot. And then having to come back 2 years later, and she was still there, and then she saw the baby, and she was like ecstatic, and she was so happy that I came back.
Right now I have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little 3-month-old girl. She giggles now and she laughs at me, and we laugh together. And that is the most beautiful thing, that God can create something within me that her and I can just sit in front of each other and laugh at each other because we're laughing. That's a form of communication that you can't even really express.
One of my favorite things is just when I was pregnant, they were always just so kind to me. And after I even had DJ, there was a time when I didn't have a lot of clothes for him, and Blaine and Ada gave me a gift card to a used baby store not too far from here. And I went and bought clothes for him, and it was a really good feeling when you don't have anything for your kid. So I ended up having a whole bunch of clothes for him, and then Ada talked to her church and actually got me a swing and a whole bunch of other baby stuff for him. And so I really was feeling loved that year for Christmas. It was around Christmas time that it all happened.
If I knew anybody who was going through what I went through or anything of that nature, if they even just thought that they may be pregnant, I mean, my first instinct would be to tell them to come here to Options for Women.